All right, welcome to the third hour of National Report. We're glad you're here. I'm Sean Kreisman.
And I'm Emma Reckenberg. Thanks so much for joining us today. President Biden touching down in Geneva for his first big face-off with Russian leader Vladimir Putin. We brought that to you live when he departed from Air Force One and came down to meet with local leaders. There's another, however, much talked about political feud still underway.
Yeah, that one in Israel. Longtime Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu officially ousted from power, but not going down without a fight. Netanyahu saying he intends to plot a comeback. He plans to challenge the cross-party coalition government that replaced him. I believe we don't have our guest just yet. We do. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Thane Rosenbaum, a distinguished university professor at Touro College and author of the book Saving Free Speech from Itself, is joining us. Also, David Rubin, former mayor of Shiloh, Israel, and author of the book Confronting Radicals. Thank you both for coming on here. Let me go straight to Dave on this one here. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu already plotting a comeback straight from a Trump playbook. But is he being realistic? Is Netanyahu being realistic? What kind of shot does he have, Dave?
Oh, he is definitely being realistic. Netanyahu is still the Likud party. You know, he was prime minister for 12 consecutive years, and he had one term several years before that. He's Israel's longest serving prime minister. The real question mark with Netanyahu at this point is, will he be able to get through his trial? He has this corruption trial that has already started and will be continuing for the next year. If he gets out of that and he's found innocent of most charges, then I think he will come back, and he will come back even stronger. But meanwhile, he's going to be opposition leader. And there is some resistance within the Likud. There are several leading candidates to succeed him who have been sort of coming out of the woodwork and speaking quietly, making off-the-cuff remarks about the mistakes that Netanyahu has made. But for the moment, he is opposition leader. He's still there.
And Thane, he had to get, for him to be replaced, his opposition, Bennett, who will be prime minister, he had to get 60 votes in the Knesset. He was able to do so, but obviously, I mean, that was the minority. That was the least that he had to get to even accomplish that.
Right, Sean.
That's right.
I mean, it was the softest victory, in Israeli history. I mean, this is very fragile and precarious. Remember, there are three parties on the right that includes Bennett's party. If Netanyahu can just peel one or two of them away, right? I mean, this to me seems very possible. Just saying, look, Bennett is dangerous, Biden is dangerous. Every time Biden makes any overture to the squad, placates the squad, it loses legitimacy. I think for Bennett, makes it easier. The minute Biden talks about renegotiating with Iran and not dealing with much tougher sanctions and ballistic missiles and promiscuous foreign policy with terrorist proxies, the more Biden pushes a more progressive agenda, the closer I think Netanyahu has to peel some conservative lawmakers in the Knesset over his way.
David, Thane brings up a point about U.S.-Israel relations. What changes with a new prime minister if Netanyahu is not able to make a comeback?
Well, look, if Netanyahu, there are two issues for Netanyahu. His internal issues in the Likud, if he remains the leader of the Likud, and the second issue is the fragility of this government. You have to understand that Naftali Bennett is going to try to carry out the exact same policy as Netanyahu when it comes to Iran. And that won't be so hard for him to do because most Israelis are united on the issue of Iran all the way to the moderate left. His problem will arise, Bennett's problem will arise if Hamas starts firing rockets again. I don't see it happening right now because they're in the refueling stage. But once they decide that they want to start firing rockets again from Gaza at Israel, then Bennett's going to have a problem because being naturally right-wing, he is going to want to take a very, very strong hand in responding to those rockets. But he has an Arab party in his coalition that supports Hamas. It's an avowedly Islamic party that is radical Muslim, and they're going to be trying to oppose any aggressive action towards Hamas. They will oppose. And all it takes is for them to say, that's it, we're out of the government, and Bennett has no government. And then, of course, if Netanyahu is opposition leader, so he has the possibility of coming back strong.
All right. We'll leave it right there. Thane Rosenbaum joining us live, as well as David Rubin. Good to see both of you on this subject. Thank you so much for coming on.